This video complements Professor Tony O'Driscoll's competitive strategy course at Duke University, where he provides a brief overview of the jumping S-curves framework that resides within the adaptive quadrant of BCG's strategy palette. Let's begin. Ever wondered why some companies dominate the market year after year, while others fade into obscurity? The answer often lies in their ability to jump S-curves. Let's start with the basics. An S-curve maps out the life cycle of a technology, product, or business model. It starts slow, accelerates through the growth phase, and eventually levels off as the market becomes saturated. Think about smartphones. The early models were clunky and expensive. That's the introduction phase. Then, as the technology improved, they hit their growth phase, rapidly gaining popularity. But eventually, the innovation slows as the market becomes saturated in what we call the maturity phase. And finally, the decline, when the technology becomes obsolete or is replaced by something new. But here's where things get interesting. When the current technology hits maturity, growth stalls. To stay competitive, companies must jump to a new S-curve, a new technology, business model, or innovation. Jumping the S-curve means shifting to the next big thing before your competitors do. It's about seeing the future, taking risks, and adapting before the old way of doing things holds you back. Section 3. Apple and Netflix, mastering the jump. Let's talk about Apple. In the early 2000s, Apple was primarily a personal computer company, struggling against cheaper competitors. But then Apple made its first big jump with the iPod, transforming itself into a leader in digital music. When the iPod started to mature, Apple made another jump, this time to smartphones with the iPhone. That jump not only redefined the company, but also reshaped entire industries. Netflix is another great example. It began as a DVD rental service, but when streaming technology emerged, Netflix jumped to streaming video. They didn't stop there. As streaming matured, Netflix jumped again, this time into original content creation. Think House of Cards and Stranger Things. Each of these jumps kept Netflix ahead of the curve literally, while competitors lagged behind. Section 4. The importance of timing and innovation. Now, timing is everything. Jump too early and you're betting on unproven technology. Jump too late and you risk falling behind as your competitors leap ahead. Take Kodak, for example. Kodak invented the digital camera but was afraid it would eat into their profitable film business. They hesitated to jump to digital, and by the time they did, it was too late. Competitors like Canon and Sony had already dominated the new S-curve. That's why innovation is key. Jumping to the next S-curve requires bold investments in research and development and the ability to disrupt your own business before someone else does. Section 5. How do companies make the jump? So, how do companies successfully make the jump? Let's break it down into 3 key strategies. First, invest in research and development. Companies like Apple and Netflix pour billions into exploring emerging technologies before there's a clear and visible market for them. And they're always asking, what's next? Second, embrace risk. Making the jump often means disrupting your own business. You've got to be willing to bet on the future rather than cling to the past. Apple didn't wait for iPod sales to dry up before launching the iPhone. They jumped when the time was right. Third, anticipate customer needs. Netflix saw that streaming was the future of entertainment before most consumers did. By the time the competition caught up, Netflix had already built a loyal customer base and started producing exclusive content. Section 6. The role of leadership. Leadership plays a crucial role in this process. Leaders must be visionary enough to spot emerging opportunities and bold enough to take risks. They must also manage the internal resistance that inevitably comes with change. Leaders like Steve Jobs and Reed Hastings were not just focused on current profits. They were thinking ahead, making strategic decisions that would set their companies up for future success. Section 7. The cost of failing to jump. So what happens if you fail to jump? The decline phase sets in, and your competitors leave you behind. It's not just about losing market share, it's about becoming irrelevant. Kodak's fall from industry leader to bankruptcy serves as a cautionary tale. The lesson? In a world of constant technological change, the status quo isn't safe, it's dangerous. Section 8. Why does it matter for you? Now, why does this matter to you as future leaders in engineering and technology management? Because the companies you will work for or create will face the same challenges. The ability to foresee technological shifts, embrace innovation, and make bold decisions will determine whether you lead the next Apple or the next Kodak. Section 9. Closing message. Remember, in competitive strategy, jumping S-curves isn't just an option, it's a necessity. The companies that thrive are the ones that see beyond the curve and are willing to leap into the future. So, are you ready to make that jump? Now that you understand the basics of the jumping S-curves framework, consider how it might be best applied to the live case assignments in the competitive strategy course. Good luck.